Hello and welcome to Mexico News Network's Breaking News. Thank you for joining us. I am your host, Elisa Carballo, and we have excellent information for you coming right ahead. Mexico News Network is your #1 source for reliable information on business and investments in the Americas, stock markets and bonds, and also corporate information on Mexico. So browse through our website on www.mexiconewsnetwork.com, our very own digital content platform. Now let's begin with today's main headlines. Mexico's Ministry of Finance and Public Credit issued an Atlas of Economic Complexity of Mexico, or better known, ACE, developed by the institution in collaboration with the Center for Economic Research and Teaching at University of Harvard. The Atlas is a tool that actually allows you to explore the existing complexity in the national economic structure and make a more solid diagnosis of the current situation in Mexico. It's all done as such so that companies, citizens, investors, and even government institutions can make decisions that help increase the productivity of their environment. Thanks to this tool, federal, state, and municipal governments will have a guide for the development of local economies. The Atlas is a tool that also helps for job searching, ever since users can identify those states and industries in the nation that need skills and/or even experience. In conclusion, the ACE of Mexico is an extremely useful tool that clearly indicates in which industry or sector the largest production capacity is concentrated and which products could start developing in a more successful way. Now, for more information, you can log on to their website www.complejidad.datos.gov.mx. Moving along to more information, the Ministry of Finance announced that during the year 2016, Mexico expects to borrow an amount equal to 2.7% of gross domestic product, which is a figure that is much lower than that considered for the previous year, 2015. All of this in order to reduce the fiscal deficit. As part of the annual financing plan for 2016, Mexico has set a debt objective of less than 3.2% of gross domestic product, which is the figure set for 2015. Now, this is provided with the budget deficit target approved by Congress, the 0.5% of gross domestic product, all of this according to statements issued by the Treasury Department. In the year 2015, the estimated deficit was of 1% of gross domestic product in total. Now, according to the statement quoted in an article in Forbes magazine, the Secretariat predicts that during the year 2016, the capital settlement, both internal and external debt, will represent about 5.9% of gross domestic product of Mexico, a much lower figure to the 6.1% estimated for 2015. This reduction in expenditure and debt of Mexico are mainly due to the fall experienced in oil prices, a major source of revenue for the federal government. Now, according to official estimates, by the year 2016, it's expected that Mexico's oil revenue falls by 30% compared to this year, what is equivalent to 4.5% of gross domestic product. Moving along to more news, in the year 2014, Mexico was part of the top 10 most visited countries list from the World Tourism Organization, with a record-breaking amount of 29.1 million visitors, and the year 2015 is heading toward a similar position. So far, it's been estimated that the nation closed the year with 32.1 million visitors in the year 2015, an increase of 9.4% compared to the 2014 figures. Now, according to the National Tourist Business Council of Mexico, it's actually possible that Mexico will be once again in the top 10 of the most visited nations in the world, on the 10th position, or even fight off the number 9 position with Russia. Now, this forecast is also supported with the report presented by Francisco Madrid, director of the tourism faculty of Anáhuac University, in which it stated that the first 8 positions on the list will most likely stay the same as in 2014, including countries such as France, the US, Spain, China, Italy, Turkey, Germany, and the United Kingdom, of course. All of this as long as nothing unexpected happens. It's also stated that the results depend solely on the tourist flow of the last months of the year in order to define the number 9, 10, and 11th positions that will determine the position of Mexico, of course, among the competitions, which are Russia and Thailand. Now, the 12th United Nations World Tourism Organization Awards Forum will actually take place in Madrid in Spain from January 18th to the 21st of 2016, and then we will know which place exactly Mexico will take. Moving along to more information, creative industries in Mexico represent a very important sector that is in fact on the rise. Part of the industry is dedicated to graphic design and animation, and Don Porfirio is a wonderful example of what the field in Mexico is all about, which is great quality, witty, creativity, and more captured in animation and design. Don Porfirio is a broadcast design and motion graphics studio, as they like to call themselves, which takes passion for design, original ideas, and hard work to create high-impact animation. Work that actually speaks for itself, as the studio has worked with international clients and is currently seeking to access and enter the Mexican market. The studio began with its general director, Roberto Puig's experience abroad, who worked for almost 7 years in Canada in several animation studios. He then returned to Mexico, specifically to the city of Mérida in the state of Yucatan, and started working with everything he learned over the years, but now in his own country, becoming as such the first digital animation studio in the southeast area of Mexico with international projects. Don Porfirio has worked for and collaborated with large and very big clients such as the BBC, CBC, ABC, CBS, ESPN, the Food Network, Discovery Channel, and MLB Network, as well as for brands such as Ford, McDonald's, Toyota, Marinela, Hewlett-Packard, and many more. Now, this is a perfect case in point on what Mexicans are actually doing in the field of creativity, and are a reflection of what Mexico is all about, which is applied creativity and vivid imagination together with hard work and an eye for detail, resulting in great quality work for the national and international markets. Now for Mexico's economic indicators. Mexico's IPC index decreased 34.87 points, or 0.08%, to the staggering 42,382.53. All of this on Monday, January 4th of the current year 2016, from the 42,977.50 it acquired in the previous trading session. Looking back, Mexico's IPC index lost 168.2 points, or 0.39%, during the last 12 months, from 43,145.66 points in January of the year 2015. Now, historically, the Mexico stock market IPC index reached an all-time high of 46,357.24 in September of 2014, and a record low of 14,008.20 in August of 2005. The gross domestic product in Mexico was worth $1,282.72 billion US dollars, all of this in the year 2014. The gross domestic product value of Mexico represents 2.07% of the world economy. In fact, gross domestic product in Mexico averaged $390.83 US billion from 1960 up until the year 2014. Gross domestic product in Mexico is actually reported by the World Bank Group. The US dollar versus the Mexican peso actually increased by 0.0706, or 0.41%, to the staggering figure of 17.32 on Monday, January 4th, from the previous 17.24 in the previous trading session. Now, looking back, the US dollar versus the Mexican peso actually gained 2.473, or 16.67%, during the last 12 months, from 14.83 in January of 2015. Historically, the Mexican peso reached an all-time high of 17.39 in December of 2015, and a record low of 0.01 in May of the year 1972. Sadly, this was all for today. Thank you so much for staying with us. I'm your host, Elisa Carballo, and don't forget to log on to our website on www.mexiconewsnetwork.com for more information on Mexico and the world of finance, business, and investments. Remember, we are your #1 source for information, and you are watching Breaking News by Mexico News Network. We'll see you next time.